When I started this piece in class last Friday with all the papers that I made, how I started is at the bottom here, and then I worked myself up. And what I was most attracted to is this green gold color here, and the turquoise and the green, this whole piece that was right there, and then mixed with the burnt sienna. So I started with that piece, and then I worked all the rest of the papers that are there. I've been working this color throughout up here, and then it's in the paper too as it's worked through. So now this rabbit came in from a dictionary page that I had stamped on gesso, and it had the image of the dictionary here, and it says hare and hounds on it, jackrabbit. So the rabbit seems to be taking on a life of its own in here, along with this color green. So what I'm going to do is I will put this in here, set it up right about here, in there, and bring the green in, and then put this image transfer on there. But I wanted to show you, preparing this piece, what I did is I had this solid color of just drawing paper, and I put the color of acrylic on there, and then I gave it a coat of gloss. And now before I go into here, because the image transfer is very light, and this color is green gold, but yet there's a color there, it will not necessarily show up as well on here unless I had a white background. So I took a little bit of gesso, and I'm showing you what I've done here, and then I just kind of smeared the gesso in there just so we could still see the color that's around it. Different ways that I did this here, I just decided to repeat the circle here and then use some of that same green gold paper with the green and the blue that was there. So now this has to dry, and then I have to give it a coat, so I use gesso on there. You could use white paint, and then this is my gloss medium that I have in a container. When this dries, I put a coat of that on there, and then I brush it on and let it dry. So right now, I can't do that, so we got to let that dry, so I'll set that off to the side. But this piece is ready, and here's the little image transfer. And it always turns over and goes on there. So I'm going to position it on here. Okay, and it's not stuck on there, but I do need a piece of parchment paper. And this is not parchment paper, but it is a silicone paper like they use in dry mounting. And it's got silicone on it so that it doesn't stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fold it over because the back side is coated. So it could stick to that piece of deli paper. So I'm going to roll this over. And now I'm going to take my little iron. And I don't have to apply too much pressure, but I do have to allow it to heat up, because those layers of gloss medium melt together. I learned this technique a long time ago from a collage artist, Jonathan Talbot, and I still use it, and he does too, and it's just really an awesome image transfer technique. And so we have this, and it kind of stuck on there. So now I'm going to let it cool for a little bit. and I'll be back and show you how to get the paper off the back here and then what is revealed, and then we'll be ready to tack down. So be right back. Okay, the little image transfer has cooled down. I found out by trying to rush this and quickly bring on the water to pull off the paper back, it didn't seal well. It has to cool down. So this is just a bottle I have, and it just has water in it. I'm just going to spray that, and then I've also sprayed onto this little rag that's right here. And now I'm just going to gently rub over, and you'll start to see the paper come off and the little image stays on there. So you build a skin up with the gloss medium, and you use the wet rag to wipe off the paper back of the image. Now I'm just going to kind of shoot this off the side. You want to try to get off, make sure you get off all the paper as much as you can. And then once you get it all off, look at how that worked out. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll try to bring it up. Let's see without this. His little nose is that color. It's not a pink nose, but it did turn out to be that green color, so that's kind of wild how that turned out there. So I'm going to keep, just wipe this a little bit more, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal this image transfer with a little bit of the gloss medium. Stops the paper bloom. And now I'm just going to go over it, and I'm just going to seal it in. So where it's at right now, it stays. It doesn't get any paper bloom on there. That's the little bit of the paper that's still kind of left on the image transfer that's there. Okay, we're going to let this dry real quick, and then I'll be right back. Okay, ready for the little image transfer here. But before I moved any further with that, I just wanted to show you I have these little L frames here, and just to kind of block off the edge. This is only going to be about 5-6 inches across here, and it's a long vertical that I'm working with. And so just to give you an idea of how clean the edges are. Now right now when I take this off, it is got tape around here, and this is hanging over, which then will be cut off later. So, but for right now, I keep that tape on there, so then if I just muck up around the edges, I don't have to worry about it. And that is not about the image transfer, but I just wanted to share that with you because I have this piece that tore off. There's 2 inches that go all the way around that I have the tape. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this little rabbit right here. Okay, and as I'm placing them on here, I could move up a little bit more, and it cuts off here. It's kind of right in the middle, and I could move over just a little bit. Doesn't have to be right in the center that's there. What I'm noticing is it's close to the same value that's right here, the same color that is there. Do I want to put another piece underneath there? Well, let me get back to you, and I'll grab another piece, and we'll see what would look better. Now I placed these colors that are here that are part of the other paper that I made out of the grocery bag, and I'm just placing these on here now just to see, and I don't like it. I'm going to put these same values next to each other, and then what I'll do is I'll shadow around here a little bit more, so that'll make this pop out. So at this point right now, what I'm going to do is take the paper. I may move it down. Let's just double check before it's tacked down. If I move it over here, then I do cover up this part here where it says page 599. Not sure if I want to keep that or not in there, and that really doesn't matter to me. But what mattered is that was touching. I wanted to keep that there. Why? It's just something that I didn't want it to teach, so I'm just listening to my intuitive self here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that silicone paper back on here, and I'm going to take my little iron. This is the iron I'm using. They used to make these tack irons, heat seal irons, but they are not shipping them out anymore from wherever they were coming from, and they had all stopped because of COVID. So you can use a regular house iron on cotton setting, or I found this nice little mini project. It says an M2 Pro, so if you're ever interested. And it comes with a nice little silicone pad that you can set on here. And I usually keep it at medium setting, medium a little bit more than the medium. Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm just making sure that heats up that whole area and melts those dry layers together. So now I'll pull that up, and this is a nice piece of 2-ply mat board, so it's a little thicker than your watercolor paper. Alrighty, and I'm just going to leave it at that and let it cool a little bit before I come in and do a little bit of shadowing. Okay. Now I have a Stabilo pencil, and I'm just going to add some energy lines in here. These are just kind of loosely holding the pencil and just kind of gesturally rolling it as I make some lines in there. Okay, I'm liking this. Right in here, the white, there's no right or wrong way. It's just kind of listening to yourself intuitively what you like, especially working with this kind of mixed media that's there. This I want a little bit darker in there. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that. This will be kind of cut off. Just to show you again the little frames. This isn't going to, you're not going to see the outside edges. Roughly, 2 inches there. And then we've got roughly 2 inches will get cut off there. So I'm using these circles again, but you won't see all of it. There's a whole row there, and then there's also the one that's at the top up over here that's there. So it's really hard to show this whole piece at once up close, but I just wanted to share with this, how it kind of worked out here. And then tomorrow in my class, we'll work on ours, and I'll show them on a sample piece, how to do the shadowing. And my sample piece, this is on a wood panel, and so I'll show them how to shadow around here and even work on a wood panel because we'll be working on that too. So alrighty, thanks a lot today for hanging out with me and watching the vertical collage and the little rabbit image transfer.